Hi everyone, and welcome to this video on IELTS Reading Short Answer Questions. And my name is Therese. And before we get into the short answer questions, I'd like to speak to you first about the difference between the IELTS Academic and the IELTS General exam. As you probably already know, there is a difference between the two types of exams. They're not exactly the same. However, the listening and the speaking are the same for both exams. So let's write that down. So listening and speaking are exactly the same for both types of exams. There's absolutely no difference between them. However, there is a difference in the reading. So in academic reading, you may have longer passages. So they may be 1,000 words, maybe even more, and they tend to be a little bit more complicated, a little bit more scientific or economic or intellectual, and often taken from journals, like scientific journals or newspapers, that sort of thing. Whereas in the general reading, you'll find that the reading texts are shorter, and they're also taken from daily life, like brochures or travel blogs, that sort of thing. So the reading in general tends to be shorter and easier. Now, with academic writing, there is also a difference. So in writing task 1, you'll have a visual that you need to write about, like a bar chart or a graph. And in writing in general, it's slightly different. You'll have a letter. So you'll have to write an informal letter or a formal letter. And then in writing task 2, for both, you'll have the essay. So the essay could be the same, in fact, for both exams. Although in general, the academic writing task will probably be more challenging. So that's basically the difference between the two exams. Now we're going to have a look at the types of questions that you can expect to see in academic reading and also in general reading. So let's take a look now at some of the questions that can come up for IELTS reading. And there are many, many types of questions. So task type 1, we're looking at multiple choice. I think you're quite familiar with multiple choice. You have a question and then you have answers A, B, C, maybe A, B, C, and D. Identifying information in the text. So you're looking back through the passage to find information. Identifying the writer's view. This is a tricky one, because you have to identify the opinion or the perspective of the writer through the way he has written the text. Matching information. So here you're matching information in the questions with information in the text. Matching headings. So in this question, you get a list of headings and you have to match them with information in the text. And we have an entire video on this topic, so please take a look at that video to develop a technique for matching headings. Matching features, that's another similar type of question, and matching sentence endings. So today we're looking at short answer questions. Take a look at this example here. So you'll see something like this on the exam page. Questions 1 to 4, choose no more than 3 words from the passage for each answer. Write your answer in boxes 1 to 4 on your answer sheet. Let's take a look at number 1. So 1, what did BIE funded charter, private and traditional public enrolled students receive in the 2007-2008 school year? So that's the first question, and then you have 3 more questions, relatively similar. The idea is that you must find an answer with no more than 3 words.
in the text. So you'll see a list of questions like that on the left, normally about 3 or 4, and you'll see a passage on the right. So the passage could be much longer. It really depends on IELTS. It could be between 400 to 1,000 words, okay? So it's a good idea to be ready for this type of question and to use the technique that we'll follow in this video to speed up your answers and also to speed up your accuracy. So let's talk about the method to answer the short answer questions. So the first step is to read the instructions about the word limit. So if the question asks you to use no more than 2 words or no more than 3 words, then make sure that you follow these instructions. That's really important. And also, by the way, the word also includes number. So if there's a number in your answer, it counts as a word. So if it says no more than 2 words, but the answer is 4 monkeys, then 4 is included as a word, okay? So once you've read the instructions, then read through all of the questions to get just a quick idea of what you will be looking for in the text. So you're reading the instructions, you're skimming the questions. And then start with question 1. So if you have a highlighter, if it is a paper-based test, use your highlighter to highlight the question words. So for example, highlight what or where or when. So that way you can quickly identify what you're looking for in the answer. So circle or highlight the question word. Next step is to, now that you know what information you want, skim the text to find the synonym or to find the key words in the text. So it may be a synonym or it may be exactly the same word as what you see in the question. So identify the keywords or the synonyms. Now go and highlight the specific area in the passage that has that information. So we're going to apply this now to a real question and to a real text. So coming back to the question, what is the question word? Yeah. What did BIE funded, charter, private and traditional public enrolled students receive in the 2007-2008 school year? So what we've done here is we've highlighted the question word, what, and we've also highlighted all of those key words that match between the question and the text. What indicates that we're looking for an object, we're looking for a noun, right? It's not a place, it's not a time, it's not a reason, it's an object, okay? So we're looking for the object of the sentence. Now let's read through the passage. And as we read through the passage, you'll see the key words. So in your IELTS exam, you're going to be highlighting the keywords as you go along. So the title of this text is Public versus Private Schools, Racial and Ethnic Status. So now we know that this text is about ethnicity and it's, racial and ethnic statistics. So we know now that this text is about ethnic statistics in public schools and in private schools. And it's a comparison of the two schools. So let's read through. In the 2007-2008 school year, there were an estimated 119,150 K-12 schools in the United States. 87,190 traditional public, 3,560 public charter, 180 funded by the Bureau of Indian Education, BIE, and 82,220 private schools. Among these schools, 52% of traditional public, 55% of charter, 85% of BIE funded, and 19% of private schools enrolled students receive Title I services. So have you noticed something? All of those key words have appeared in the text. Traditional public, charter, BIE funded, and private enrolled students received. So immediately we target the specific area of the text with the answer. And we can see here that those private school enrolled students received Title I services. That's the answer. So you're skimming for the keywords and then you're scanning the text. You're going back and reading in a little bit more detail to find the object of the sentence. Okay, so let's try the same technique now with number 2. So number 2, what ethnicity was represented by 16% enrolled in public schools? So now we've highlighted the key word in the question. It's what ethnicity. So we're looking for an ethnicity. Yeah. Now we have to highlight the key words of the question in the text. So we see the word 16%. We see the word public schools. So those words appear in paragraph 2, right? So now let's go back. We're going to skim and scan the text. The racial and ethnic composition of students enrolled in public schools was 50% non-Hispanic white, 20% Hispanic, regardless of race, 16% African American, 4% Asian Pacific Islander, and 1% American Indian. So we see that the answer is 16% African American, right? So initially I skimmed the text for the keywords and then I went back and I scanned the text for meaning. So once you get into the habit of this and the practice of it, it really becomes faster. So it's important to practice this. Okay, number 3, let's try the next one. What group was represented by only 1% in private schools? Okay, so we know what group is the question word. So we're looking again for an object. We're looking for a group. That's a noun. And we're looking for the keywords. So we're going to skim the text. We see 1% and private schools. They appear in paragraph 2 again, but in the second and third sentences, right? So now we're going to scan the text for the answer. So, okay, so let's jump to the second sentence of paragraph 2. Among private schools, the racial and ethnic composition was 74% non-Hispanic white, 10% non-Hispanic black, 9% Hispanic, regardless of race, 6% Asian Pacific Islander, and 1% Native American, right? So we see that the answer relating to 1% is Native American. So that's our answer. So again, skimming for keywords, scanning for the exact answer and for meaning. So that's basically our technique. Let's recap the method that we're using. So short answer questions means that the answer are 2 to 3 words or numbers or figures. That's what the meaning of short answers is. The answers need to be the exact words from the text, by the way. You can't use a different word. Make sure that you use the exact word, otherwise you'll be marked down in the exam. Another important point is that if in the text they use capital letters or they use a hyphen or a number, you must use the exact same capital word, the same hyphen or number, otherwise you'll be marked wrong. So for example, if the word is New York and you write New York with a small letter, you'll be marked wrong. Okay, and the other point is that if you write the incorrect spelling, if the spelling is wrong, you'll also be marked wrong. So that's important to remember, okay? Use the highlighting and the keyword technique to save time. So you're reading the question, skim the text for keyword, scan the text for meaning, right? Okay, question word, skim, scan. Read the text carefully to find the answer. So that's scanning.